Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe.
Welcome to this edition of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. My name is Tim Keown. I have the privilege of serving as the president of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe. And I'm here with two of our very distinguished recent alumni, Mr. Cole Hammond, who came to us from Ava, South Carolina, and Ms. Riley Cox, who came to us from Seneca, South Carolina. And both have graduated here and are in their collegiate careers. Mr. Cole is a freshman at the Citadel in Charleston, and Ms. Riley is a sophomore at Clemson University, where she is an agribusiness major. Cole, what is your major at the Citadel?
I am currently a history major at the Citadel. And
what's your plans to use that degree?
I plan to use that degree plus a minor in criminal justice to go into law school eventually at USC and eventually go into the military as a JAG officer, becoming a distinguished law representative, and hopefully eventually go into a citizen career after that.
Awesome. Ms. Riley, how do you plan to use your agribusiness degree?
Currently, my plan is to become an agricultural loan officer. I do plan to take an internship during my junior summer, my summer classes of junior year, and I'm going to be interning at Ag South Bank, either in Centerville or in Greenville.
Awesome. I am an Ag South customer. A side note, give a plug for Ag South. I believe, Cole, you're on spring break this week. Is that right?
Yes, sir, I am.
And Miss Riley, you're not on spring break, or you're not skipping class to come here, correct?
I am not. That is correct, Dr. Cowan.
Okay.
I am not skipping class. I take a CI class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I only have to be there on Wednesdays if we start an experiment on Monday, which we did not this week. So.
Great news. Well, it's really good to have you both. I'm going to start with a question for Cole. The Citadel has a reputation of creating future leaders in South Carolina, a long reputation, right? So describe to us your freshman year at the Citadel.
Freshman year is definitely a tough adjustment from normal life. It's kind of a culture shock when you go in. You got to learn, how to balance military duties in school. It also teaches you a lot about how to be a leader, just in general, how to be accountable for yourself and others, as well as just in the end, trying to meet the major and end goal of, principled leaders with hopefully everybody. It teaches you through an honor code, honor, respect through, upperclassmen, and then duty by the work you have to do within the military pillar of the Citadel.
Mm-hmm. So in contrast, Clemson University, obviously not a military school, but has its roots in military. It originally was a Clemson Agricultural and Military College. How has your first couple years at Clemson been as an adjustment?
My first 2 years have been definitely an adjustment, but it's been really nice to transition, especially from De La Howe to the bridge program and then to Clemson. It made it easier. It was still a learning process, but it was very helpful to go the route that I did. So very thankful for that.
Well, I'll field this question. How do you think that our school prepared you both for college? And I'll start with either one, whichever one.
I guess I'll go first. I think, honestly, the biggest thing is the living environment at the school, the people who really care and who really, always want your best interest, giving you a good, safe environment to kind of grow as a person. You also have this kind of fortitude of being at a place that you're safe at and being able to gain friendships that'll last through a closer environment. Also gives a good transition with roommates. Going to college, most people go in, they don't have never had roommates before.
So
having roommates here definitely makes it an easier adjustment. And I'd say the school, the teachers, the teachers really try to help you prepare for college, especially in your senior year. And the finance part too, they really do push scholarships senior year here. And I really appreciated that before I went to college.
Yeah. The teachers here really do care about their students. I mean, Dr. Platt even came in and she was like catching up with us. She even remembered things that I forgot even happened in our class. Like, I was like, you remember that? Okay. Very caring.
We are fortunate with a very caring staff for sure.
I do feel like also doing the dual enrollment here is very, very helpful. It allowed me to boost forward in my years at college. So now I'm taking all major specific classes instead of having to sit here and take English and math and biology. I was able to take all of that here and get it out of the way. So
that was my next question, actually. So kind of expound on it a little bit and tell me, what did you take here that you did not have to take at Clemson or the Bridge?
Well, I ended up taking 4 classes here that were removed off of my yearly schedule, which I was thankful to not have to take in college. I took English 101 and 102, my probability and statistics, as well as my biology class.
I took 4 classes as well. I took a art history class here through a dual enrollment through Piedmont Tech. I also took English 101 and 102, which really set me up, kind of helping me exempt some of the English classes that I needed, especially for my major. And I also took Crim J 101, which automatically put me 1 class ahead in my minor. So
awesome. Expound on that a little bit more. Do you think that the dual enrollment offerings that we had through Piedmont Tech, which is a strong partner of ours, do you think it helped with your university level GPA overall?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just the kind of getting used to college classes while you're in high school, as well as, the teachers and how the schoolwork is set up. And also, I mean, if you go, like she was talking about Dr. Platt, I mean, Dr. Platt does the 101 and 102 classes here. And I mean, having a college setting definitely helps you adjust when you get to college. It definitely gives you kind of a setting so you already know what you're kind of getting into. It definitely sets you up for a better GPA, like you were saying. It helps you really prepare yourself for what you're getting into and gives you some useful skills and tools that you know how to use better when you go into college.
Yeah, having those extra credits are phenomenal. I would have hated to have to take those classes at college. I really would have. I'm not going to say I'm the best at my classic classes. Mr. Hammond over there is probably a little bit better at some classical classes than I am. But I was just very happy to have all those credits that I didn't have to take. It helped me a lot. And again, major specific, now I'm doing things that I enjoy rather than not wasting my time on English and math, but not having to worry about it.
That is really good news because we're looking at now we have some students who are wanting to graduate early, like Mr. Hammond did. He graduated 1 year early here and is technically should be a senior in high school this year, but he's almost finished with his freshman year at the Citadel. So we're looking at offering a program, and we're in the initial stages of it, where our seniors, rather than leaving our school early, can live on our campus and drive to Piedmont Tech and go ahead and get those other classes out of the way. Kind of make this their senior year of college home almost.
Yeah, I do remember Hannah Mosley did something to that sort. I remember she would commute from here her senior year to Piedmont Tech. And that really, I remember her really enjoying being able to have classes here that she needed to be able to have the ag experience, but she also was able to go get her classes out the way. I think she almost came out of that with some sort of low degree. Mm-hmm. So that I definitely think that
it's almost possible. It is possible to earn an associate's degree while here. It's difficult, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I am very, very happy. I almost thought about graduating early here, but I could not lose this ag experience. Yeah. The people here are really phenomenal, and I miss it. I miss it a lot, but I'm very happy that I went through it.
This is always your home away from home to both of you. Hope you know that. Give me a couple fun stories, maybe. What are one or two of your fondest memories of attending school here?
I'd say it was really nice just to be able to wake up in the morning, go to the mess hall here, and be able to eat with friends. Also have like that time before class. That's very nice, and just kind of be able to grow as a student here was a lot easier than other places. I remember multiple times I would be in Mr. Morton's class. We'd be out, and it's a very hands-on experience because we did everything from lumberjack contests to just chasing around a different type of bird. We also did the dogs, the field trial team. Yeah, that was a really good experience too. I think that within the agricultural base of the school, there's a lot of things that we can learn on every day. I mean, coming out with a certification in general is a great achievement coming out of high school. And I definitely think that, I mean, it's not one of those certifications where you don't understand what are you getting. I mean, you deeply understand and have a really good grasp on what you learned because it's so hands-on and they really want you to learn it. They really care about teaching it to you. So I think that some of my best experiences were in ag classes, just
Hands-on environment.
yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. My floriculture classes, I really enjoyed, especially working with Mr. Mann whenever he was here. In the greenhouses and stuff, our sales that we did, oh, I loved that. I remember just like collecting all those flowers, sitting in the back of the bus and transporting them. I'd take so many selfies with those things. So many selfies. I'd be in the greenhouses at times. We would go and water it at the end of class days sometimes. We'd have like extra time before till. It's called till?
It is.
Yeah,
Till time.
before till, and we'd go and we'd water the greenhouses, or we'd get to go and ride the horses on some trails with Heather. I love that. I heard that y'all got some more horses as well.
We have a few more horses. We've added 2 Tennessee walking horses to the herd out there. So y'all have to go check them out. And Little Mister, of course, is still here. You have to pick Little Mister. No, he's still here. You can't run Little Mister off.
I'll tell you what, I heard Riley, I completely forgot about this, but she brought up Till. We actually have something to that sort at the Citadel. We have something called ESP. It's a 3-hour study period or a 2.5-hour study period that where we utilize being able to do our schoolwork. I think that is like just a basis to a good
It was
study
definitely
habit.
like a transition. It allowed me to be able to like set aside time for me whenever I'm at college to know, hey, I have to take the time to do this. So take the time to do it.
For the listener or the viewer, TEAL is our study hours. The acronym is Time for Individualized Learning and Lessons. And we have that mandatory hour from 6 to 7 every day. It's basically a study hall. And I will hastily admit, our first year we had a 2-hour mandatory time.
We did.
And Miss Riley Cox and a few other students, I think AG, came to me and said, Mr. Keown, that is too long of a study hours.
For college, that's a good time.
Yeah.
But for high school,
It was a bit much. So we
was a bit
adjusted
much.
that. So my point for saying that is your administration, while you were here, listened to you and adjusted as we needed.
y'all have always been very adjustable. And it's been amazing always.
Good deal. And back to the plant sale. That was our first plant sale. And I used to tell the joke that was the first and only traffic jam in McCormick County's history. We had people lined out of the gate for that first plant sale out there, and it's only grown each year. And we're about to build a brand new greenhouse, so probably at least double our sales with that. So,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
It's always been beautiful flowers. I mean, it's a very big thing. I mean, we always have. I've never seen so many cars on this campus.
Yeah.
If you want a good, nice plant in your garden or in front of your house, I mean, you got to get there early.
Daylight House is a place to come for that.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I do also remember from floriculture, that was my favorite class here. But whenever we went and decorated downtown McCormick for Christmas times with the trees and everything, that was a really good experience for me as well here.
I also remember we had a guest speaker here, Sarah Fry, and she took us. It's pronounced Fry, Frey, but she pronounced it Fry. From my memory, I will double check, but I'm pretty sure. But I remember her taking selfies in your dorm room and posted on her social media, and it got
with me and Elsa and
Yep.
Lucy. Yeah.
so that was a fun time. I remember her coming in.
She had a great story.
a wonderful story from a female farmer's perspective. Boarding schools, they are not that common in the South. You see them more common in the Northeast, maybe some out West, but in the South, they're few and far between. There's 3 governor schools in South Carolina that are, of course, boarding schools, and maybe a handful of others. That boarding school experience for those parents out there or interested students, do you feel that it gave you an early start to college, and how was it beneficial to come to a boarding school environment?
100% it's
yeah.
beneficial.
I think that it very much sets up a basis for what you need to know for college. I mean, you automatically have that, living environment. So you're kind of used to, being away from home. Kind of takes a lot of the culture shock away from going to college. And it really sets you up. And especially here at this school, y'all have done a great job just helping students understand and kind of transition into this environment at this school, which will in turn 100% help them transitioning into college.
I especially loved the housing as well, because not only are there dorms here, which is usually all you have at those other governor schools, we also have a kitchen here in our dorm houses. So I know a lot of my roommates, a lot of my housemates, they were able to cook, and we still were able to learn. We had a bunch of little house parties, I would say, where we did popcorn and movie nights, or we'd cook dinner for each other. We had little Thanksgiving meals together, or we'd do some turkey or some ham, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I always like to brag about my famous chili. I still do it to this day. I make my famous chili all the time. That chili originated in one of the dorm kitchens, and I fed it to my house, and they really enjoyed it. And ever since, I've been kind of adding on to that, and everybody loves my chili.
I've never tried your chili.
Oh,
I'm offended a little that I've never tried your chili.
Right.
Bring some Cole Hammond world famous chili. Please.
It'd be world famous with as amazing as it tastes. I even remember the little grill outs that we used to do on the boys' side of campus, especially. All the boys would get the little grills, and they'd be shuffling around them burgers.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
There's definitely having a kitchen was a very nice thing.
Yeah.
Just having a fridge in general where you could kind of have your own, you could have your own little milk for your breakfast. And
yeah, you don't get that at Southern.
No, I mean,
you gotta deal with that.
We can go to the mess hall, but it's nice to have it right there. And it's definitely, I think the RAs are a big part of the experience here too, is just having an RA who actually, he or she always cares. They always want your transition. They're always worrying about your transition into the environment. And they always are very supportive and very helpful when you need something. The RA staff in general was always a very prominent, caregiving people when I was here. I really respected and I really enjoyed having all RAs I've had 3 different RAs when I was here. Mr. Bland being one. He's by far one of my most respected people that I know. Just because the way he always had, a view that would help transitioning, and always had, something to say when you were down. And he let us goof around a little bit. We had our little horse playing thing in the boys' side, but he definitely, knew when to shut it down. He definitely had a good standpoint, and I really respect his way.
House competitions here, house decorating?
We do house decorating competitions. We do house GPA.
Yeah,
you remember with the heavyweight belt.
Oh, we never
still do that. And I remember teasing the young men. I said, I don't think that belt's ever going to go to the boys' side of campus, but it did. It did.
She was in. We also were a force to be reckoned with for sure.
I wanna put out there, Nichols did make really close.
Yeah, really
Nichols
close. This is not
second, I think, one time.
Yeah, we were
the boys' dorm
there.
Yeah, no, I just remember that first year. It was there. We had Dr. Keown. We had Dr. Hayes and Mr. Thompson. Oh,
that first year. And of course, when y'all were here, especially Riley, because you came, I think you came a year before Cole. Is that right?
That is.
That was our first year opening, which was in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic. My goodness. We did. And I think about that all the time. And I'm very grateful. Well, I hate to say experience. that's a bad term, but I'm grateful for the experience of having the students that were here and the maturity level that you all showed, compared to some other schools who struggled during the pandemic. And although it was a struggle, we made it through as a team. And by team, I mean faculty, staff, students, and all. So it was an odd time. I jokingly say sometimes we could not have picked a better time to open up a boarding school during the middle of a pandemic, but we made it through it. Just a personal question. Do you stay in contact with your Aggie classmates?
Yes, all the time. Well, obviously me and Cole
Right.
stay in contact every day, but I still talk to my entire table of all my ladies.
Mm-hmm.
We always had our table at lunch where I guess we were known as a certain table, but we all still talk, and I have a couple of kids that go to Clemson with me as well, like Jake Parker and Lee Fulmer and Kylie Adams. So we all get to see each other, and it's nice.
Yeah, I definitely keep in touch with a good many of my classmates, especially, that close environment I was talking about earlier that you're put in with roommates and housing situations, and just the tight-knit family of the school definitely gives you some deep connections with some friends. I mean, I keep in close contact with many people. Carson Hall, Zach Lawson, he's still here. I still talk to him all the time. And there's Evan, just everybody that really, really was here and really put themselves into the school and didn't, there was very few people who have ever just sat in their rooms and not done anything, because, it's hard to do that when you have, faculty and staff who want you to participate and who really care about your input and view on things, and definitely makes you want to be a part of the school. I remember multiple times, me and some of my friends, we would go out and we'd cut the grass. We would do some weed eating. And I mean,
I
never
remember
been
the
so
boys always
happy.
grabbing all the tools, and they'd be all around campus.
Never been so happy
At
to do
every
yard work
house.
in my life. Yeah, never been so happy.
That's true.
That is good to hear. So,
Yeah, I love the landscaping here with
yeah,
the flowers. And
you are welcome to come back. We have plenty of landscaping, as you can see there.
It's a far drive. That's why it's very hard for us to come here. If I lived close, I would come.
Yeah.
Well, give me your vision for where you both will be at in 10 years with your careers. Not necessarily personal life, just careers.
I think that in 10 years, career-wise for me, I have two possible options. Either one, I want to go to law school, so that would be another, 7 years from now before I get out. And then when I'm completely out of schooling, I'm either one, going to try and contract as a JAG officer in the military. But if that does not work out or something kinks that plan, then I plan to go in for environmental law, which honestly, that passion for environmental law, I mean, I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but the environmental side definitely come from this school. Just the care for the environment just makes you want to, fight for what you feel is right. So I think that in 10 years, I'd either like to be a JAG or I'd like to be an environmental lawyer in the civilian world.
Awesome. That's right.
Well, I do plan, as I said, to take that internship the summer of my junior year. So hopefully that goes well. So that'll be in a year from now. And then with that program, they also have it to where you go from internship and then you go to training and then you become an agricultural loan officer. And honestly, I hope that in 10 years, I am still doing that because I would love to be able to see farmland every day. I definitely miss it from this school. I really do. I'll be driving around and I'm like, why are all these buildings here? I miss my grass.
I've got to give a shout out to a Clemson classmate of mine back in the day, Kevin Renwick. He is my Ag South loan officer based in the Lawrence County office, and I am sure that we could line up an internship with him or at least a job shadow time for you, especially over at Lawrence County. But Kevin, shout out to you. Thank you for all you do on the personal side for me and our students and what all Ag South has done and sponsored for our school too.
So hopefully I'm doing that. And then I really want to get back into the horticulture side of things because I am minoring in horticulture. So I do want to maybe get a little business on the side and involve that floriculture that I really, really miss from here.
Like have your own little greenhouse.
Yeah, I plan on it. Maybe something small.
Either of you have any final comments for the podcast?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I think that the last thing I'd like to say is the school is very extraordinary, and I feel like it was a great privilege to be able to attend this school and enjoyed every moment that I had here. Friends, faculty, and staff all make that, a very family feeling, like a little hometown feeling. Especially know that from, Ava, South Carolina.
Ava.
But
Cole and I share that in common. We were both Ava boys, and I used to call him, what did I used to say? Make these Ava boys proud now.
yes, sir. All right. Well, I think that's all I had to say.
Yep.
So.
Well, thank you both for coming. And I wanted to say that you said it was an honor and privilege to attend here. It was our honor and privilege to have you both here. And I mean that. We're excited about what you're doing, your future. I was so excited to see you both today walk into the office. We had a visitor yesterday, Evan, as you mentioned earlier. He came by on his spring break. We've had lots of alumni stop in for Ag Fest and different events. It was nothing warms my heart.
Even going back in time, I'd still come here. I'd make all the same decisions that I have. I don't regret a single bit of it, and every minute was a joy.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming again, and we wish you nothing but the best. And I know you're going to make us proud in the next 5 years, 10 years, and 30 years and beyond.
Definitely going to
that wraps up this episode of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. We had Mr. Cole Hammond and Ms. Riley Cox with us today, and we hope to see you all on the next episode. Thank you.
Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe. For more information on the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture, visit our website at delahowe.sc.gov.